have a story to tell, which might be only unique to what are called mission field Mormons, not growing up in Utah or Idaho or in the Intermountain West. I grew up in the Midwest, and this is sort of like the soap opera that can kind of happen when there isn't a very large community in your faith, or in my particular circumstance, in your cult. Part of being a good Mormon means that you only marry in the faith, which means that unless you can convert your spouse, your choices are pretty slim. Especially when a lot of Mormon boys don't want to have a Mormon girl from Michigan. They want to head out to the Intermountain West to get themselves a nice piece of TNA that's properly indoctrinated, blonde, and blue-eyed. So I'm going to tell you a story from my own family. I like to call it the Mormon love triangle and my two cousin Daryls. Actually, they're not cousins, they're nephews. But anyway, please be advised that all names are pseudonyms except the ones written in lowercase. Okay, so first there's me and a pseudonym last name, Farkblatt, Katie Farkblatt, and that is my pseudonym sister, Zina. So we're sisters. Then there's the Binkleton family. Seth and Ben are first cousins. Finally, there's the Noon family, my husband Jeff and his sister Edith, our siblings, right? So I married Jeff. My sister Zina married Ben. And then Seth married Edith. Now, where this gets really fun is that Zina, my sister, got in a big fight with Edith, my husband's sister. And why is that? Well, it's all because of Daryl Mortimer Binkleton. Edith and Seth had a son, and they gave him the name Daryl Mortimer Binkleton. Then my sister Zina and her husband Ben had a son too, their second son, and they chose to name this child Daryl Mortimer Binkleton, spelled exactly the same way, and both boys are pretty close in age. My husband and I were the last in this trio of couples to get married, and only when we were at the wedding did we realize that this was a triangle. And my husband heard from his sister about how horrible this name was, and I heard from mine, and we were supposed to fight it for them or between them or negotiate, and we're like, what the hell? They're like, what if one of your boys is a criminal? They'll use my boy's name and make him bad. I mean, it was horrible, and it lasted 4 years. Both boys are now grown men. Both boys are now married with children and live across the country from each other. But that doesn't stop Zina and Edith from hating each other.